Hello everyone and welcome to another review from Kit Guru. We are looking at two items today from Tecware. The Talk Plus mouse, which is currently coming in at $24.99, and the Phantom keyboard, which is coming in at $59.99. As always, we're going to jump in first with the packaging. So the Talk Plus mouse comes in a basic box with a nice little picture on the front and the specs on the back. There's also a handy little QR code here too, so you can download the manual. Very well thought out there, Tecware. Inside, not much protection really, just a foam bag. Inside we have the mouse and the cable nicely wrapped up in its own detachable cable tie, some spare mouse feet, a little plastic end for the USB, and that is it. So the Phantom keyboard box is a little odd as it doesn't really show the item, just a black gloss outline of the keyboard. On the back again, we have the specs and features, but no QR code. No! Why would you do this to us? It was such a good idea on the mouse. Inside we have a quick start guide and the same foam bag as what the mouse came in. Inside the bag is a plastic cover for the keys and a detachable cable tidy, a USB plastic cap, but underneath the keyboard there was a switch remover and 4 spare switches. This is a nice little bonus in my opinion. I immediately got the idea that these might be budget items due to the lack of presentation and packaging, and obviously looking at the prices I wasn't far off wrong there. However, as a wise mum once told me, never judge a book by its cover. So let's have a look to see what they feel like and the first impressions. Let's start with the keyboard. So out of the box, I really liked it straight away, to be honest. It is really quite weighty, which some people might not like, but I like it as it makes it feel premium and quite sturdy. The cable is a really nice braid. It again feels sturdy and was really catch resistant. It didn't catch any of the rough edges on my desk or anything. Turning this one over, I'm even more impressed. There is cable routing options, a keycap remover, and some really nice rubber feet. There are also flip out feet which help you elevate the keyboard, and they also have their own rubber pads attached. This is a really nice touch and it really stops the keyboard from moving around in my opinion. Okay, so one downside, the keycap remover that's underneath the keyboard itself is stupidly, and I mean stupidly, fiddly to get out, but at least it won't fall out unintentionally, I guess. So I plugged this in without any software, not reading the manual or anything. Again, it impressed me beyond expectation. The RGB immediately kicked in with this kind of on-touch wave effect in white RGB, which goes really nicely with the kind of stealth vibe I'm getting from it. So each button press caused a wave outward from that key that you just pressed. Very nice. The key presses feel great too. The keys themselves have a lovely matte finish, which I feel helps prevent mistyping and slipping. Very satisfying and clicky and great feedback. So let's have a look at the Talk Plus mouse. So first thing I noticed even before plugging it in was the really flexible, almost shoelace-like cable. Tecware call it paracord. It's really flexible and you can feel the wire inside too, so it's not tightly shrink wrapped to the wire. I haven't really felt a cable like it. It is a bit catchy though, and on rough edges it kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, pulls a bit of the fibres out of the wire itself, so this could cause fraying over time. Now, this mouse is 111 grams, but it feels way less than that, to be quite honest with you. It feels quite light. They've made it quite well. I was surprised to find out that it was this heavy. The case has a textured matte finish, which is quite nice and prevented my hands from getting too sweaty. Even though the whole mouse is plastic, there is no rubber to be seen here, apart from the scroll wheel. The scroll wheel is suspended and I really like the look and feel of it. It works really well with the RGB headlights too, and I also like how you can see the RGB underneath the right and left clip buttons. The fact that it goes around the side as well as a thin border is subtle but quite effective. So button placement is good, even though there are 3 buttons here. I didn't find that it made me make any mistakes by pressing something unintentionally, and they are nicely spaced. The DPI buttons look a bit confusing at first. I thought there was like 4 buttons here, but there isn't. It's just up and down DPI, and the other triangles are just plastic aesthetic basically. The right and left click are very clicky, and the same can be said for the side buttons near your thumb, which is quite a rarity. Normally these buttons are a bit spongy. Overall though, aesthetically aesthetically and feel-wise, the Talk Plus is not blowing me away as the keyboard did. So after feeling out these items, I decided to dig a bit deeper and try to find some key features that are unique or a little bit intriguing for both of these items. So one of the main features is this keyboard is modular. You can change the switches and the caps. I didn't know that you could change the type of switch to suit you, and I think that's a really, really nice touch. The switches are OSMO or OSMO switches. Let us know down in the comments how you say that. You can have blue, which are 60G tactile clicky, brown, which are 55G tactile bump, and red switches, which come with the keyboard. And to be honest, I like these just as much as the MX Cherry Reds. That's just my opinion, huge opinion at that, but I do. But let us know if you disagree with my opinion down below in the comments. It'll be interesting to hear what you think if you've tried these switches before. The keys are double shot ABS keycaps. I was expecting them to be quite durable because of this. Well, when using the plastic keycap remover, I might have accidentally managed to scratch a key. So sorry about that, Tecware, but I was not expecting this to happen so easily, and it really did shock me. Another really good feature of the keyboard is the combinations you can use to change the RGB modes. You can even select the color without opening any kind of software. There is also loads of other key features for multimedia and stuff like that. In the manual, it does specify how to do all of these quick access key combinations, but most of them originate from the function key and something else being pressed at the same time. Upon digging deeper for the keyboard, I thought I'd do the same for the mouse, but to be honest, I couldn't really find anything that wowed me other than the usual stuff. The switches are mechanical and up to 20 million clicks, and it does have quite a decent sensor with it being the Pixar PM3360. I would expect this though for the price. It is a basic gaming mouse with basic features, so I'm not surprised there isn't anything else to dig up for it. We will have a look though to see if the software can make the difference. I went onto the website and I found I had to download two types of software. So even though it's the same company, two different types of software, one for the mouse and one for the keyboard. I would have preferred it, to be honest, if it was all in one, but I can understand to keep costs low, sometimes you need to do things differently. Also, when I actually was trying to download this software, my computer was warning me that it might put my computer at risk. This obviously could make some people reluctant to download the software, but I had no problems once it was downloaded, I can reassure you of that. So when we load the software for the mouse, we can see that there are 5 profiles that you can utilize here for different games or whatever you like. You can also import and export and delete profiles. You can reprogram your 8 buttons here and finish by clicking apply. Along the top here you can see sensitivity tab, and you can change your DPI for all the 6 quick access levels. You can change the amount of selectable levels by clicking this box here. You can even enable independent X and Y axis DPI below. Moving on to the next tab, along the top here you've got LED. You can change the RGB presets here along with the speed and direction. Finally, we've got parameter. Here you can change the mouse sensitivity, which I found a bit odd since there's like a whole tab for this. But you can toggle on and off mouse precision, which I later found out through a little bit of delving that it's to do with mouse acceleration. I couldn't feel the difference between these options on and off. So let us know if you did feel the difference. There's no explanation for much on this software, and it would have been nice to see some explanations here for some of the different options. We also can see scrolling speed and double click speed, as well as polling rate. There's also a separate tab entirely for all those lovely macros you wish to have. So on the keyboard software, I couldn't even run the software to start with. I had to run it as administrator, so bear that in mind guys if you try to load it up. But when I did eventually get it open, you can see that there is 3 profiles in the top right. You can enable or disable LEDs, change key functions by clicking the key you want to change report rates, restore defaults, and we have OK, cancel and apply. Really basic stuff, but I kind of like the basic vibe. It's really intuitive, and to be honest, the fact that most of it can be controlled by the function key anyway, I think that the software is enough. So let's look at some pros and cons. We'll start with the keyboard. So pros, one of the biggest features really is that this keyboard is modular, and in theory you could keep it for a long time. The fact that it comes with some spare switches as well is another nice touch. It's a great price, loving the stealth look. I love the RGB and it's plug and play. Great build quality, can all be controlled without software, which is nice. Feels great texture on the keys, and the key feedback is satisfying too. So some cons. The software, yes, is pretty basic. The keys really did scratch quite easily, and that was disappointing. The packaging wasn't very impressive, but does it matter? I'll let you decide. On the mouse, some pros. Price is very competitive. Specs are pretty good. Nice RGB, the wheel is very tactile. Software was okay, nothing special, but did the job. Quite clicky keys as well, so it's quite satisfying. Some of the cons, I would say it feels a little plasticky in my opinion, but for the price, it's kind of what you would expect. The cord feels a bit odd, and you can feel it moves around inside the casing, bit strange. It is quite basic to look at, so there's no real wow factor here in either the specs or the design. And my conclusion, I feel that for the price there is nothing really to complain about. You usually get what you pay for, but I would say that this keyboard is extraordinary for the price. I have a high-end keyboard myself and it stood up to mine, and I would actually say I became quite attached to it. I'd happily use it all the time. The mouse, however, I cannot say the same for. I didn't bond with it, it's basic, and this is what you would really expect for the price, I guess. It gets the job done, there's no problems in its build quality or functionality, which is really all I could have expected from it. So guys, what do you think of Tecware's Talk Plus mouse and Phantom keyboard? Let us know down in the comments, and whilst you're there, check out our merch. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the sub button, as well as the little bell to receive notifications. Do not forget, if you want to know more about a specific product or fulfill your need for information, KitGuru's website is updated daily with tech news. So my name's Christina, and I expect to see you at the next one. Take care, guys.